So this is the first Amaya video. Some of you may be wondering what Amaya is and why you should be using it or why you might want to use it. Several of you over the span of the semesters have asked about a free GUI editor for web page creation. And of course, the W3C is probably the best place to come for anything to do with the web. You've been coming here hopefully for validation on this right-hand side. You've been going to the HTML validator and the CSS validator to make certain your pages validate. If you haven't, I have, and that's why you haven't been getting a good grade. All right, but underneath all of those validators, you want this one where it says more open source software. Sorry, wrong link. The first one you run into is Amaya. Then it goes Apache. Apache is if you're running your own web server. If you're all just developing web pages, you're probably not there yet. That is an entirely separate class. That's not even Comms 156. That is a web server class. So you have to know how to run your server first. You'll have to learn how to install Linux. Although there is a version of Apache that runs on Microsoft, I don't really recommend that. And then, of course, there's the CSS validator and HTML slidey. Some of you may want to do this if you're trying to create a slideshow from your HTML. HTML tidy is also very, very good. And I recommend that if you're looking for some things. There's all sorts of stuff further on down the page. Some of this is a little bit beyond you as far as course content goes. It won't be when you get to Comms 156. And it may not be if you are programming for the web later on, like Jigsaw. But right now, we want Amaya. All right, so the shortcut, if you just want to hop right to the web page, www.w3.org/Amaya. And an ending slash Amaya must be capitalized when you do this. Now, the nice part about Amaya is it is a web browser. It is a web page creator. It is a CSS creator. It will do just about everything. The downside is that it is not HTML5 ready. So if you just check it, this piece here where it says current release, they're up to 11.4.4. It does support HTML 4.01. I don't suggest creating any pages in HTML 4.01. It just is not robust enough anymore. It goes all the way up to XHTML 1.1. That's what you should be developing in if you're using Amaya. It does support math, so if you need to put in math equations or diagrams, and that includes chemistry equations, physics equations, anything that requires superscript, subscript, and some funky formatting. And notice it only goes up to CSS2. It does not recognize CSS3. It's free software. It's open source software. So it only advances as fast as the people who are able to help develop it. That's you guys probably. So if you're really, really into that, you want to be on this left-hand side, download Amaya. You want the distributions. You definitely don't want sources unless you are going to try and rewrite huge chunks of Amaya. If you're into programming, if you are a programmer, I hardly recommend joining the group and getting involved. But otherwise, you just want the distros, and you don't want the 11.4.7. You would like the 11.4.4 in this case. Most of the time, the very, very top one is either the beta version or it's got some funky fixes in it. 4.4, the next one down, that one's going to work. Right? If you've got Windows XP or Vista or 7, Debian or Ubuntu, OpenSUSE 11, any of those 3 Linux flavors will work. If you have a Linux flavor which is not there, but you know that it is compatible with one of those, then by all means download that one. Mine is at the bottom, the Mac OS X. And notice it's all the way generated on Snow Leopard. That's way, way behind. I mean, that's tragically behind, quite honestly. We're up to Yosemite now. That's like 2 versions past this. But I download this one and it works just fine. It's just a little slow. Right. So you just click on this. You have your choice. I would go with either the HTTP download or the FTP download. If you're not sure what FTP stands for, definitely go with the HTTP. Just click on that. I'm in Firefox right now, so it's going to say open with and whatever your unzip utility is. Mine is, of course, Disk Image Mounter, right, because it's a DMG file. It's going to open this thing and then try to install Amaya. Right. Once it's installed, it will be available to you and you can start it. And that's the thing that we're going to do in the next video. We will start with Amaya already open and give you a little tour of what it can do and what you can do with it.